It is one of the world's few inland deltas, the Okavango, in the heart of southern Africa. Each year the region is flooded by rainwater that first falls in the Angolan highlands to the north. It's this fresh water, brought by winding rivers into Botswana, that attracts the game this country has become famous for. Herds of elephants lumbering down for a drink, snorkeling across rivers, wild dogs hunting in packs. We travelled by boat or four-wheel drive, tracking leopard and finding lion. And at sundown we listened to the painted reed frogs living among the water lilies. What's intriguing is this lush wetland delta is itself a part of the Kalahari Desert.
It is the only inland delta so far. So basically, it discharges its contents into the Kalahari. And that's basically the connection.
I travelled south from the delta, following the course of the Botswana River, just a name change down from the Okavango. Since 1995, the river has run dry along this section, but this season I watched as the waters rasped miles beyond the main tourism town of Maun. This has been welcome news for David Dugmore, who runs a safari camp on the Botswana's banks. While the river was dry, he pumped up groundwater to provide artificial waterholes to thousands of migratory zebra. With the river running again, it means a more natural and balanced environment. It also means new areas may open up for Botswana's tourism industry.
The Kalahari is so diverse. You have everything from waterless, semi-arid, vast areas to salt pans to the Botswana River, which is a major drainage system of the Okavango into the Kalahari Desert. I believe the saturation of tourism in the Okavango and Chobe, we're looking at getting away from those main attractions.
My next journey was to the salt pans. The road seemed endless. Cattle moseyed by. A group of zebra and wildebeest crossed our path. And then in the distance, the crystals of the pans began to shimmer. If the rivers ran all the way, this is where the waters of the Okavango Delta would pour into. But nowadays, the Makgadikgadi Pans are a bone-white desolation with odd oases and distant mirages. Nothing distinguishes one lobe of the pan from another, except the surface of the Earth's crust. I'm crouching in the middle of what was a giant lake, and this is the dry bed, which is covered in a very thin crust of composite material, which when you step upon it kind of crackles under your feet. And then all over it is this kind of composite material, which sounds more like metal than it does a kind of mixture of salts and minerals.
It's very dried out from the sun, but if you lift it, it comes off like a skin. And then underneath, you can see here, it's still damp and wet, and that's from the last year's rains.
What's that noise?
Thunder. The first rains are on their way. It's all good news.
But as I discovered, even this region is not always arid or entirely featureless, although it is still relatively unexplored. It may yet become another of Botswana's important tourist areas, not just for the dramatic landscape, but also for the allure of truly getting away from it all, and the sense of solitude.